Welcome to another episode of the So-Called Oreos podcast, the podcast where we discuss all the awkwardness, hardship, and hilarity that comes along with society labeling you white on the inside and black on the outside, also known as an Oreo. I'm Kia Swinton, and I'm here with my beautiful co-host,
Amari Pollard.
Janae Price.
Hey, let's get
Bam,
it.
bam, bam.
Okay, friends, so just a friendly reminder, our Patreon is live and our merch line is live. And if you're white, you can get things that say talking white isn't a thing. A lot of our white listeners have been like, can I get this? Are you guys going to do some other stuff? Yes, you can get it. I promise it'll be okay. No one's going to fight you if you have a shirt that says choose black women. If they do, you can also just like tag so-called Oreos. And I'll like rip them the shreds for free. And just follow us on all social media and do our survey because we want to improve the podcast for you.
So today's discussion, we wanted to talk about our problematic faves. To bring in the new year, we just kind of wanted to do something light and funny. In case you guys don't know what a problematic fave is, it may seem like really obvious from the name, but it's someone who has done or said very stupid things, or always just puts their foot in their mouth once they get in the spotlight, or, messages of them leaked saying that they were a cannibal, Army Hammer, but you still love and support them anyway. And this episode, like I said, is strictly for fun, shits and giggles. Don't judge us because we all support someone or something that we probably shouldn't. If you don't recycle, if you're not taking care of this earth, you support something that you shouldn't. So don't come for us for liking these people.
Janae.
Because I feel like when you automatically say problematic fave, right? If I go on here saying that I like someone who someone else is like, oh my God, they're the worst fucking person. How could you ever? You're so dumb. It's like, bro, we all like and do something that we probably shouldn't be. We're human.
Yes, I agree. Only one I will draw. I mean, there are multiple ones I will draw a hard line for.
Yeah.
But if your problematic fave is Donald Trump, this is like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. If it has anything to do with mistreating children, mistreating animals, murder, just being oppression, I'm not going to support you. But if it's just,
we're talking about the light ones, like
we're talking about the light ones. Well, kind of.
Some of these are actually pretty deep.
Some of these are actually pretty deep, but we're going on here. We're bearing our soul to you guys, Oreo gang. Don't judge us. Have fun. Get into the conversation. Don't take this too seriously. So mine, like Kia mentioned, my top one is Ariana Grande. Now, for those of you who don't know what a niggerfish is, I wrote an entire thing about it on Vice, and I know the name is very funny. It makes everyone kiki, but it's a real thing. Now, niggerfish is a phenomenon that happens on social media, or it started on social media, where basically white women will, get the lip shop so they have big lips, tan a ton, and they're basically catfishing to look like black women or biracial women, and they're not claiming the fact they're not misleading you, or they are misleading you. They're not saying that they're white, but they're not saying that they're black either. They're just like, here's my face, and everyone assumes that they're mixed because they're doing everything, or they look a certain way, but they're not being like, oh no, I'm German. They're just not, they're being real quiet about it. So like a year or two ago, something like that, it was like this entire thing on Twitter where nigger fishes on social media were being exposed. And tons of black women were taken to Twitter to be like, this influencer is white. And I think a girl named Emma Hallberg was like a big one, where it was like she looked mixed. But like you see pictures of her from 2-3 years ago and she looks as white as can be. And now suddenly she just decided to start tanning and all that other stuff. So Ariana Grande is a nigger fish. She does all of the things to make herself look like a woman of color, but she's not. Even in some interviews, people have said that she's speaking with a bit of a black scent, and trying to sound more ethnic. I mean, She's way darker than she used to be. uh the songs that she's made to talk about her tracks and her hair and her ass, it's just like, Ari,
Wait, can
girl.
I step in really quick?
Yeah, step in.
Um, this reminds me of The Bachelor. Can I still him for a sec? Okay. When so Ariana Grande, like I said, I'm biased, so I feel like maybe my opinion is a
And
little.
I love her too. This is why she's my problematic fave, because I'm not stepping away from Ariana. I love her music. I think she's talented. When she makes a little song about her tracks and her hair, I'm like, ha, girl, stop. Like, I love Ariana.
Okay, so kind of like what you guys said when like someone did Adele's hair. So Ariana Grande, it's weird because this is like the where's the line of like appreciation versus appropriation, because her entire team is black, and so like literally everyone that writes her music, like does her dances, all stuff, the whole team's black. Her best friend, Victoria Monet, is black, and also I don't know if this is an excuse, but I guess I'm kind of like, oh, I'm glad you have like a black team supporting you. Where if it was like white people who were like, Ariana, talk about your weave, girl, or something like that, like that would be a little problematic. But also, I do like how Ariana like backs up like her support for black people, where it's like she will have like only black artists open for her tours and like giving them more exposure. And she'll have like black women in the center, like when she did God is a Woman, like performing on the VMAs, like the black woman was a dark-skinned black woman was the center of that. Like she was the god that they were like, being like, God is a woman, this is her. And then she does like, actually donate to Black Lives Matter and step and speak up about issues where I'm like, and especially LGBT issues, because her brother. So I don't know. I just say that's because I think a lot of people do that and don't also do the work, and that's kind of how I feel about Bruno Mars. I know people have say he's problematic. I didn't put him on there because I didn't think it was problematic, but he does have an entire black team. He only works with black people, black artists. Ariana Grande too. Everyone that's featured on the last 3 albums is black, only black. So I don't know. I don't know if that has anything to take away with it, but I do like how their team and what they stand for actually backs up like if they're going to like appreciate black culture.
Which is nice, but I think the frustration that comes with that is like you can be a white artist, have a whole black team, and get to a certain level. Like you would say, like maybe Ariana's only at this status because of who her team is, but a lot of black people are not going to talented black people are not going to reach at the heights that Ariana Grande has had. And like
Yeah,
would
that's fair.
if she was black, would a black artist who was on the same level as Ariana be able to do that? I don't know.
And that's shitty too, because I feel like I guess again, like this is my own biases of like, to me, I'm gonna support the black, I'm gonna support the Normani as well, just as much as but I guess that's true. Like a lot of people wouldn't support them, or like I know a lot of people said something about Leon Bridges and Bruno. I don't know if that's exactly the same, but like someone who's traditionally more South and jazz and soul versus Bruno, who is like a Puerto Rican, um, having the
He's
same level.
he's Pacific Islander.
No, he's Puerto Rican, girl.
He is. I thought
Half, yep. Trust me, I know, baby. I know.
Pacific Islander.
Oh God.
He's born and raised from Hawaii, but he is Puerto Rican too.
And I can get behind what both of you guys are saying about Ariana Grande. I do think it's also important to highlight that like Ariana's managers are white, and I think it all of these things just make me question the people and their intention. And it's like, has Ariana Grande always been pro-black and an ally, or did her white managers tell her this is what's popping in the streets right now, and then
Damn.
eventually
I didn't
seeing
even think about
everything
this.
happening in the world, she was like, oh, this might be a good idea. You know what I mean? She still did steal her
Yeah.
entire hook from Princess Nokia, a woman of color. Princess Nokia, I'm not sure if she's black or Hispanic or Indian, I'm not sure, but that's a woman of color. And she never really took a step and said, I'm so sorry I did that. She basically was an asshole about it. So it's kind of like,
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. So that brings me to my next point of K-pop. Um, I'm just gonna run through it quickly, but taking black sound, there's a huge history of colorism within the Asian community, hypermasculinity, hyperfemininity, unrealistic body expectations, really censoring and controlling artists. K-pop is just kind of a dirty industry. It really, really is. And there are some artists that are better than others when it comes to, BTS, my boys. They're constantly giving back to the Black community. Well, I won't say constantly, but they've given back to the Black community, and they're always giving credit where credit's due. But BTS still does have past, and they still have all done very, very insensitive, discriminatory things. Um, and then my last, I'll say, with teen dramas, like me and Amari mentioned earlier, or like I mentioned earlier, and Amari talked about too. There's just kind of this classic formula with a lot of teen dramas of like the pretty quiet girl or the mysterious bad girl who always has a fat best friend or a black best friend or a gay best friend, or they're fat, black, and gay, who has absolutely no story arc whatsoever other than being supportive and sassy. And then there's always that whole bad boy trope or the jock who likes the dorky girl trope. It's always like the same thing. And I feel like it can be really, really damaging to young people who think they need to fall within those lines to kind of, I don't know, get love or respect or popularity. So those are mine.
Yeah, so I guess it's good that mine were not that many, but Stephanie Meyer is problematic because it was revealed that from one of the first directors of the movie, Catherine Hardwicke, that she was really against making the cast more diverse. Like Catherine Hardwicke wanted to make the Cullen clan itself more diverse, and Stephanie Meyer was really against that. But she was open to the idea of making Laurent a person of color, so they made him black, and he also happens to be the darkest person in the whole franchise, I think, and he's evil. And then she also opened up Bella's friend group to more diverse. Like I think she has there's I think his name was Eric in the no, I don't know. Either way, they're more diverse. I can't remember any of their names. Shows you how much of a story arc they all had. So she was really against that. J.K. Rowling, she's disgustingly transphobic and keeps on exposing herself. Allison Romaine made a comment about Chrissy Teigen and like I think it was maybe like Marie Kondo about who are both Asian women, about how they have all these like product lines but really no talent and haven't done anything to deserve it. Meanwhile, like she's done X, Y, and Z, and this is why she deserves
Oh,
to have
I
all this
remember
thing.
this.
Remember
Was this the
that?
girl
Yeah.
from the New York Times or something?
Yeah, New York Times. And I was upset because I would like watch her. I would only watch her New York Times cooking videos because I really liked her kitchen. But I also like really liked just like her energy and how she would set things up. And then she said that and I was like, oh, but then also when you look at a lot of the people with the New York Times who get most of the uh FaceTime are like white people when they're making like ethnic food, and it's very problematic. But you see that with Bon Appetit too. Um in Doja Cat, I was really just starting to get into Doja Cat, and then I think it was Janae that was talking to me or like told me mostly about like how Doja was in all these chat rooms with like white supremacists or like just making these comments about black people, and I was like, bitch, you black.
I was really into Doja Cat too, and I had to let her go.
I feel like Doja Cat had like multiple chances though, because I don't know if you guys remember when she was doing the bitch I'm a cow thing. It had came out that she had said some homophobic stuff before that. So then people kind of were like, Doja, that was wrong, and slowly forgave her because she had apologized, whatever. Okay. Then she, did that chat room, which I think that was just a whole nother level of like you self-hate. It was just gross, and like she's mixed. I think that too.
She
And
also works with Dr. Luke, who was accused of raping Kesha. Like that
Kesha.
was he did her whole
Oh,
album, I think.
shit.
So
And
And
yeah, she just
she
keeps doing stuff.
she said some dumb shit about COVID recently too. She had a live and she was basically like, "What is a COVID? Like, don't be a
She's
bitch
always at
ass."
parties. She's
Yeah.
always at parties.
She's
She
like,
also called Beyonce Bianca, like basically called her a donkey.
all right, I forgot about
oh, and she made
that.
a whole song that was basically like hidden code word for white supremacists about like black people too.
What's wrong with her, bro? And it's weird because it's like you're in rap, like you want to be in rap in like a black genre.
But that's just like
Ah.
how but that's a very white, let's just be honest. She does not have a good relationship with her dad, who is the black person. She was raised by her mom, who is white. And what she does a lot of the time is like what white people are great at doing is loving black culture and hating black people.
That's
and then
true. It's
profiting
just
off of
sad to
it.
see it, I guess, when it's like, damn, you really are a black woman, though. That's like, I don't know. It's just really sad.
Does
And
she identify as a black woman?
yeah, I think
Okay.
so. And I do wonder because Doja Cat is just getting more and more popular. Like right now, Doja Cat is kind of the it girl. She's featuring in everyone's music. And I do wonder how artists feel. I mean, Ariana Grande, we
I don't
just
think they
talked about
care.
her. Exactly. Ariana Grande, we just talked about her. She just came out this week with
The remix
Doja and
34 and
Meg,
35.
exactly, featuring on her song. And then
And
you
The
before
have
that
Weeknd
was
featured
Chloe
her
and
too.
Halle.
Yeah, she
exactly
was on
before
Chloe and Halle. She was on the Weeknd's remix of, I think it was Save Your Tears or In Your Eyes, one of
and
them.
I'm pretty sure she's going to be working with SZA next because I follow SZA and I've noticed that her and Doja Cat have had there's been some reposting and commenting on pictures. So I'm like, these two are about to work together too. And I'm like, you see all of this stuff happening in the media as an artist. And I wonder if you have a moment where you're like, well, there were rumors made up about Me Too. So I don't know if any of this stuff is true. If they say it's not true, then it's not true. Or is it like, my manager's telling me to do this, so I'm going to do it. I
Well, I think
always
that
wonder.
that poses like the next question or one of the next questions we had is like, when is supporting a problematic fave like too much? When's the final straw? Because I guess that's kind of like a biased opinion, but I feel like there does have to be a level of like, if we just let people get away with things, then they're just gonna get away with things. But also, it's kind of like we do have to forgive people too at some point, not all the time, for like if it's a lighter offense. So like, I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Oh, I'll go. I'll go.
Yeah.
Personally, someone like R. Kelly, I'm never forgiving. Someone like Harvey Weinstein, I'm never forgiving. Um, Donald Trump, there was never anything there for me to even close to consider forgiving, along with Harvey Weinstein and R. Kelly. But I think people like that are unforgivable. I think someone like a Doja Cat or a J.K. Rowling, right now, I'm not in a space where I could forgive or, and I can't even say that because I just finished the entire Harry Potter series. Uh, but
But
I
then you
will
have people
say,
who still like support R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly. And I just feel like if you're doing things like destroying people's lives, I can't forgive that. I feel like destroying people's lives and saying dumb shit are two different things. The dumb shit, I'll put you on the back burner for a while and not purposely support you or go out of my way to support you, right? My parents owned all the Harry Potter books, so technically I didn't do any supporting. But still, yeah, I'm done.
I think that's a good way to put it.
I think there's a murky line where it's not just, it goes beyond saying dumb shit, and it goes into feeding into oppressive language that then can be used against people. So JK Rowling, I mean, your parents already owned that book, you already technically supported her. I mean, it's really confusing because like it is a very big attachment to growing up. But i I can't I haven't been able to continue the series because like she is adding fuel to very oppressive language, and she does it knowingly. People call her out, and like when your whole freaking cast is saying like, I don't support you and I can't agree with you, when the people that technically kind of like helped you make Harry Potter can't support you anymore, I feel like it's okay. Like, just like, I don't know.
I
She
think
just
it's
needs to be
also
cut
another
off.
thing to double down on it. I think it's like,
Right.
okay, you made one comment, kind of like Doja Cat. Okay, you made the homophobic comment. You apologize. You seem like you learned from it. Whatever. Okay, we'll move forward. But then to like double down and be like, nope, I said what I said about you trannies. Like, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like, girl.
And I think that's what's really telling is that when people do stuff, I'll try to like, research all the things that they've said and like get as much information about it. But it's really how they respond to these allegations or what they've said that I think is really telling. Like I had a really big problem when I should have put him as one of my problematic faves, even though he's not. I don't really pay attention to him more anymore. Is like Aziz Ansari, when that whole sexual
I feel that.
misconduct situation happened. And at first I was like really against, I was kind of defending him, or like I was like, this is really murky. But then ironic, nasty twist of fates, I found myself in a very similar situation that girl was in. And I started to understand the where she was coming from and how it was, how people don't understand when you're in these situations where it's not as easy just to say no. Like, it's sometimes when I found myself in a similar situation, it was like the only way I can get out of this is going through it. So I went through it. Um, and also like the way he like started to make jokes about what had happened and like when he was like starting to resurface, I was like, I just can't support this anymore. And I think he's slowly starting to make a comeback. Like I saw a movie, I don't know what the movie's called that's coming out and he's in it, and I was just like, I don't know. So I think it definitely is telling how people respond to these allegations. Like Armie Hammer with the whole cannibalism thing, he was like, what did he say? Now I can't be in this movie because I have to be with my family during this time. It's like, nah, you got caught for like referencing someone as a slave and saying you want their toe in your pocket like a freaking weirdo. You lost that job because you're doing weird ass shit. And then he's like blaming that for why he didn't get that movie anymore.
Thanks for tuning into this week's episode, and just reassess your problematic phase. Follow us on all social media at so-called Oreos, and you can email us at socalledoreos@gmail.com. You can listen to us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Pandora, Google Play, everything else. Please remember to like, rate, subscribe, share, leave a review. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.
Bye.